Hello. It's hard to believe that the school year is about halfway complete. So much has happened, there's so much more to come. Instead of my monthly update following the school board action meeting, which was last night, I wanted to talk to staff at this midpoint and give you a sort of state of the school district update. I should add first that at last night's meeting, the board did approve changes to the school calendar because of the hurricane this fall. You can look at the website for these changes or speak with your supervisor. Although my preference is to talk to you in person, as we all know, time is precious. So I hope that this short video will suffice until I can meet with you face-to-face at some point during the upcoming weeks. It's been about a month since the tragedy at Sandy Hook Elementary School. The events of that day remain with us and have motivated all of us to take a closer look at how we operate and how we continue to ensure the safety of students, staff, and schools. Ray Wilson, our Safe School Coordinator, commenced an audit of our school entryways and other aspects of our buildings. Consequently, we made immediate and necessary changes to improve the security of the extended school care program and the vulnerability of our buildings. We held a community forum on safe schools and we're reevaluating all our policies and practices. Recommendations for further improvements will be discussed by the Safe Schools School Board Committee at the end of this month. I want to thank staff for their cooperation with the changes that have occurred and that will undoubtedly take place in the future. As we expedited some of these changes, we may have missed some considerations, and we continue to develop ways to make these improvements work for everyone. Just know that everything we are doing is for your safety and the well-being of the children we are all here to protect. As always, we continue to keep focused on our primary mission of student success. To say there's a lot going on right now would be quite an understatement. We have amped up our commitment to literacy, and we're fortunate to have received funds to support our efforts now rather than later when our budget could provide for it. But the work being done in this area, and I know it's a large undertaking, is paramount to the success of our students. On top of this, we are all adjusting and learning as we implement the state's educator effectiveness model and work through our first year of Keystone exams. I will be the first one to acknowledge that at times the amount of work that must get done on a day-to-day basis is incredible. But I know too that all of us are extremely dedicated to our students and their academic excellence. And the best part is we're all making a difference. Our students continue to meet the challenge of more state assessments and higher expectations because of you. Outside the classroom, I know that our support staff also work more than ever before. The same amount of grass still needs to be cut even though there are fewer people to cut it. Schools still need to be cleaned for students even though there are fewer custodians. And technology still needs to be serviced and deployed, though there are fewer people to manage this important 21st century learning essential. The list goes on, as do their added responsibilities in light of state mandates, security changes, aging equipment, etc. That brings us to the budget. Please know that I am just as weary of talking about it as you're hearing about it. But we can't bury our heads in the sand. The more we all understand the situation, the better prepared we will be. I'm not going to get into graphs and specifics with you at this point. There will be opportunities in upcoming months to do this when I can answer your questions in person. But I do need to get across to you in the clearest of terms what we are facing in the 2013-2014 budget. Simply stated, at this point our anticipated and contracted costs exceed our estimated revenues by approximately $10 million. Yes, this gap contains a lot of unknowns, including what our real estate tax rate will be and what the impact of charter schools will be on us. But there are certainly known factors that will already eat up the tax increase. Pension contributions will be approximately $2.9 million higher, health care increases are another $2 million higher, and the contracted salary increases are $4.5 million for a total of $9.4 million. The base Act 1 index tax increase, if approved, would equal about $2.5 million in revenues. As you can see, we're about $7 million off without even considering charter schools. This economy just cannot afford these increases. So what do we do? It was reported in the fall that we had a $10 million surplus from last year. In actuality, most of those funds were rolled into healthcare rate stabilization, the PSERS Rate Stabilization Fund, and the capital reserve for technology upgrades. These reserves will help us close our gap, but it would be a terrible mistake to drain all of the funds in one year. Doing that would set up an impossible funding gap the following year. Making matters more difficult is the fact that many of the cost-cutting measures that we've implemented have saved millions of dollars over the last few years, but they were one-time savings or have diminished potential for additional savings. So it's wonderful that we were able to exercise them, but they are not available or cannot be expanded on a yearly basis. Of course, we have other revenue enhancement initiatives underway, like advertising, but they will not yield the level of funding needed to close the gap. I come back to, so what now? Over the next few months, we will need to make some tough decisions. I hope that you will help. I will be planning to visit schools and departments so that I can better explain the situation and get your input. And we will hold a community forum or the topic of budget in March. North Penn is not alone in facing serious financial challenges. I meet regularly with local superintendents, and we are all concerned. We are also closely following the Internal Revenue Service's proposed interpretations of the applicable portions of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, PPACA, and how it may impact next year's budget. We are North Penn. We are leaders. Our successes are due to innovation, collaboration, and the hard work of staff, students, and the community. These successes occur every day in the classroom, in the boardroom, on the field, in our offices, health suites, buses, and every inch of North Penn you can name. And then beyond, as we send our graduates into the world equipped with a North Penn education, who like us are prepared to overcome any challenge they face. We are a team, and as your quarterback and team leader, it's my job to continually move us forward. But I can't do this alone. I'm asking all of you, my teammates, to get North Penn to the goal line, because history tells us that working as a team, North Penn can do anything.